just this past week, I had the opportunity to go into a Savers store. I don't know if you guys have those where you're at, but here in Missouri, we have like 3 of them. And they are like a really big Goodwill store. And prices a little bit higher than typical Goodwill fodder. But in this case, I ran across this Panasonic VCR. It's a 4-head hi-fi stereo Omnivision VCR. Its model number is PV-V4525S. And it was released, or manufactured at least, in 2005. So this particular VCR has a lot of quality features to it. For comparison to some of the VCRs that came out around that same time period that were just a lot of plastic, really tiny VCRs, and really just were horribly made, this one appears to have some quality to it and is in excellent condition. Whoever had it really took good care of it. You can see here on the menu, there's some cool setup stuff on there. You can set up the VCR, you can set up your clock, set up a channel. You've got your language setting as well as the VCR's output setting. And that's really it as far as the features that you can set up here. The remote that I'm using is this Harmony remote, and I've had these for years, and this particular one is a Harmony HE2B or something like that. I'm not even sure if that's the real model number, but these Harmonies are fantastic to have, especially if you have a hobby like this one, where you find stuff and you don't have the remote with it. So this particular one allows me to pretty much put whatever I want in it and be able to operate it. So it's great for Laserdisc players, DVD players, VCRs, anything that you find. You can program this remote to operate it. And do notice that one of the keys had to be transplanted from here up to here just because one of the keys fell out. So, but that is not usual. It does have a backlit display on it, which is kind of nice. You can see it in the dark. But beyond the remote, I found this VCR. This TV here I rescued from a recycle center and had to buy a cord for it. And you'll see more about this particular flat screen 480p television in one of my other videos where I talk like a crazy English person. And speaking of English persons, over here I have this movie that I had completely forgot about, but had seen years ago. It's called Time After Time, and it is about H.G. Wells, who goes forward in time to chase after Jack the Ripper. So really good movie. Watch the whole thing on this setup that you see here just the other night. It was kind of fun. So let's dig into this VCR, look at some of its features. As you can see, I actually did set the clock on it. Whoa, that's so cool. Many times I don't even bother setting the clock, but in this case, thought it would be fun. So set the clock, and let's open it up and see what makes it tick on the inside, as well as look at the jacks on the back so you can see what kind of connections this VCR had. So let's get going. A really cool feature of this VCR, other than the electronics, is that the casing is actually metal. The whole thing is metal. The back is metal and the top is metal, which is pretty nice. Adds a little bit of weight to it and makes it feel like you've got some quality there. Here's your typical jacks that you'd see on a VCR. You've got your composite video in and out, and left and right audio for stereo sound. Over here on the, I guess the serial number sticker, you can see the date in there, 9/6 of 2005, the model number there. And this one just was not made in China, which is really cool. It was not made in China. It was made in Indonesia. So, hey, is that better? I don't know. It could be. Here's your antenna inputs. You got in from antenna and out to TV. Very, very typical. But notice there's no switch to switch from channel 3 to 4. You can do that electronically within the menu. With the cover removed, we now see the simplicity of this VCR. Everything is really just simple. I mean, as far as the things that are necessary to make it operate, it's got just really easy connections. You've got a ribbon cable coming up here from the audio head going into the board down in there. We've got the audio, linear audio, as well as sync signal track coming through this little cable here. We have gears driving both the take-up and supply spindles. We have a race head here for video. But look what we're missing here. We are missing the erase head for the linear audio as well as the sync track. There's just one head there, so I guess they just don't erase the content when you're recording over it. Kind of strange. There's your capstan, pinch roller. You've got your guides to pull the tape in and out. Here you have your loading mechanism here, which happens to be plastic. I was bragging about how the outside was metal, and yet we've got this plastic drive here, or guide, for the tape carriage piece there. So let's go ahead and put a tape in. Now, when I was testing this at the store, I noticed that it had a ridiculously fast rewind in it. Okay, I mean, it was loud. So let's just kind of take a look at that, see what that's like. Oh, it didn't like that for some reason. Let's try it again. Probably doesn't like this light that I'm shining in there. Here, let me pull back a little bit, and we'll see if that makes a difference. Nope, still doesn't like it. There's a little bit of light exposed here, which can sometimes affect the operation. Let me see if I can figure this out. Well, I must say this is the first VCR I've worked with where I had to kill all the studio lights for me to be able to do anything underneath the hood on this guy. So let's do a little eject action here. But this thing has to have the fastest rewind and fast forward I've ever seen in a VCR. Now notice it does thread the tape in even when you're just messing around, just rewinding or fast forwarding. But watch this, okay? So I'm going to hit stop, and I'm going to hit rewind right here on the front. And let's watch how insanely fast this thing goes. I'm really surprised this isn't a feature that's listed on the front as like flash rewind, because I have seen that feature before on VCRs, and this one's got something very similar. And notice how it gently slows down so it doesn't rip the tape off the end of the reel there towards the end. Now I'll go ahead and hit fast forward on it again so you can see it go the other direction, and it's just as fast in fast forward. It sounds like a jet engine taking off or something. Really, really crazy. Alright, so let's go ahead and hit stop here. And let's hit play. Oh, that was fast forward, sorry. Here, let's hit play here. There we go. So we are now in play mode. Everything's working great. And then we got fast play. Let's go fast reverse. See how that works. Very cool, right? And we'll just do a close-up walkthrough here of this circuit board. Looks like it may have had some features that were optional, and the board has an entire section there. It says demodulator circuit. It's interesting. And then there's your RF modulator there, demodulator. Then let's see, hi-fi ENV, is that hi-fi envelope there? And here's the video head coming into view. So the tape is wrapped around that. Going across over to that lone audio head there. And your capstan controller working back there. And then there's the place on the board where that plugs in. Got you a fuse there in your power control section. Kind of a strange motor there that's I don't know, it's not level. It just kind of sticks out there from the side. And we can peer over here again at the power section on the inside. So this is your Panasonic VCR in action. Now let's go ahead and eject the tape, and we'll take a look inside and see like the gears and stuff. So there's your take-up spindle, our supply spindle. There's your take-up spindle. And then there are some really cool gears. Big gears there for fast and ridiculously fast rewind and fast forward. Alright, so now let's take a look at the picture quality. I'm not going to plug this one right into the camera, but let's take a look at what it looks like on a 480p LCD screen. Alright, I've got my TV ready to go here, so I'm going to go ahead and hit play. And we'll fast forward a little bit. FBI warnings and stuff. And we'll hit play and watch as the camera zooms in on the picture to make a pan and scan movie. Strictly for VHS consumption.
Now you mind your step, Jenny.
Nah, go on, don't you worry none about me. I can hold me, Jen. I'm right as rain.
Toto, love. Mind how you go.
Come straight to the point, don't you, love? Well, my place is right along here.
There.
We aren't in a hurry, aren't we?
Well, that wraps up this video review of the Panasonic PV-V4525S. Please subscribe to the DataBits channel. You can also follow me on Facebook. Go to www.facebook.com/1 and DataBits. You can also follow me on Twitter. I'm on Twitter, and that information is down in the description of this video. Please watch one of these excellent videos you see here on your screen as well. Got lots of videos about VCRs on my channel. Vintage ones with a lot of cool features. This one's very basic in comparison. Appreciate your sponsorship of the show, and we will see you next time.